Welcome to Not a Roofers podcast, where we discuss roofing
without all the jargon. I'm Brianna.
And I'm Charity.
And this is today's episode.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Not a Roofers podcast. Today we're going to be doing things just a little different. We are not discussing roofing terms today.
I would even go to say, this week is just not normal for the podcast. And that is because if you are not aware, this Thursday is Earth Day. And Earth Day is all about, taking care of the earth and the place we live. So we thought it'd be fitting to spend this week looking at, the roofing industry, how much waste it produces, and what we can do to limit that in the future. So we're going to start, and since I don't have a definition, I feel a little sad without my definition, of course. But we're going to look at the brief history of Earth Day. So I went to earthday.org, which is all about Earth Day if you want to learn more. But the general overview of Earth Day is the first Earth Day happened on April 22nd back in 1970. So it's
not even that old.
No, this year is the 51st Earth Day that has been celebrated. And Earth Day, the idea for Earth Day actually came from Senator Gaylord Nelson from Wisconsin. So that's pretty cool for, I guess, me, since Charity's not in Wisconsin.
I was born and raised in Wisconsin. I would still consider Wisconsin my home.
Yeah, so that's exciting for Wisconsin that it came from that. But he came up with the idea after a whole bunch of things happened, including a massive oil spill in Santa Barbara, California, and the release of Rachel Carlson's Silent Spring. And that book came out in 1962, which was all about the environment and the impact of humans' actions for the future. So, just a little history on Earth Day. Like I said, this year is the 51st year of having Earth Day, and Earth Day started, and it wasn't until 1990 that it actually went global. So for 20 years, it was just here in the US, and then in 1990, it became a global event.
Yeah, and then since then, more countries have started to have conversations about Earth Day. So in 1990, it was only 141 countries, but then in 2000, it was 180.
So it is growing and becoming a big thing. Like I said, I was on earthday.org. If you want to learn more, I will put that link below so that you can find out more about Earth Day. But like Charity said, we are not really going to be talking about roofing right now. I thought it would be prudent of both Charity and I to share our views on not really Earth Day, but just taking care of the earth, the environment, and what we do in our personal lives and kind of how that got started for us.
Well, so I guess... Okay, so I live a more zero waste lifestyle, but it didn't start how one would normally think, I want to protect the earth, so I'm going to not buy as many wasteful things. No, actually, I was very poor. I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I couldn't afford to buy saran wrap some days. So I'm like, okay, so if I can save some money, instead of buying saran wrap, what can I buy to replace that? That would be a one-time cost that I'd never have to buy again. And that's when I started looking into the zero waste options, the things that help save the environment more, learning the difference between just greenwashing and actual environmental friendly items, and have started working my way that way. So I use a lot of bamboo products because it's cheap to grow, cheap to harvest, and it decomposes. So bamboo toothbrushes, bamboo cutting boards, bamboo whatever you can think of, or things packaged in cardboard versus plastic. So my deodorant I use is in a cardboard packaging that decomposes when you're done using it. When my daughter was born, I used bamboo diapers that actually had a recycling program. So if you wanted to participate, you could take all the diapers, put them in decomposable bags, put them into a decomposable box, and send them back to the company, and they'd compost them for you.
Interesting. For our listeners who don't know what greenwashing is, do you want to briefly explain what that is?
Greenwashing is products that are advertised and distributed as eco-friendly that aren't. So, I'm going to totally throw this company under the bus, and I don't mean to do so. Dove just came out with a zero waste deodorant that's in an aluminum tube, but it costs more and uses more waste to make that than it's helping save the environment.
Got it. So, my journey with being zero waste or environmentally friendly, however you want to put it, started when I went off to college, actually, because when you go off to college as a 18-year-old, you have limited money. And so similar to Charity was, I was a broke college student, didn't really have the resources to buy brand new things or even reusable things, or not reusable, even single use things. So I came to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do. And also at that time, I didn't have the financial ability to even buy the reusable things because they are on the front side more expensive usually. But we grew up, Charity and I, going to thrift stores. So when we'd go clothes shopping for school, we were usually at a thrift store, and we have, even now, one of our favorite thrift stores near where we grew up that we still go to because we love it. It's a really great place. So when I was at school, there was a particular thrift store in my college town that I went to. So it started with buying clothes secondhand. But every so often in a thrift store, if you have the ability to look long and hard and search through everything, you can find some really awesome products. And so that's how it started for me. And then I slowly started buying the reusable things when I had the opportunity to. And so now I'm out of college, have a little bit more money. And for my wedding, a lot of our gifts on our registry were actually things that would help with the zero waste. So reusable sandwich bags, glass containers. I'm trying to think of what else.
On paper towel.
Yeah, reusable paper towel was a big thing. Anything that we could get that would help start the journey for us. And then thankfully, in the town where I live, there's actually a zero waste store. So it's a store where you go in and you can bring your own containers or buy reusable containers from them, and you fill them up with laundry detergent and other cleaning products, beauty products, whatever they have. And so you're not having that plastic container or waste. And that's really helped. And then there's a zero waste Facebook group that I'm part of, and people will list anything that they have. And through that, I've learned a lot. So it's been a great resource and just like a great place to learn more and be conscientious about what I'm using, while also for Charity and I both, it's a money saver as well.
Well, yeah, because what happens is you buy this product once and then you don't have to buy it again. So you and I both use reusable sandwich bags or storage bags that are made out of silicone, and we don't have to buy gallon plastic bags or snack size sandwich bags. Like, we just have these reusable bags. And what I personally like, because I do own a dishwasher, is you can throw those on the top rack of the dishwasher and you don't even have to hand wash them. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
cleans it for you.
And like I said, I have that zero waste group. So it has gotten to the point in my journey, because I've been able to find a place, that I've been able to get some of the things that were more expensive on my list to buy brand new. I've been able to get them used, which is even better for the environment because you aren't buying a new product, which is just like, that's why I really love thrift stores personally, because it really does help reduce clothing waste and other products waste, because a lot of things get donated that have so much life left in them. And so you can get those, you can use those, and companies aren't having to make more and more, which creates more and more waste. But enough about our personal views on the environment and zero waste. Let's talk about roofing for a little bit. We'll just put it out there. Roofing creates a lot of waste every year, because in a given day, if I'm driving around town, I will probably see, and this is being like really conservative, but I'd say there's usually at least 3 different roofs in the summer if I'm driving around that I'll see that are being torn off and redone. Okay. For each roof, just like, where do you think that roofing material that's getting taken off is going?
Well, and I'd even stop and say this, that the roofing industry is one of 4 industries that creates some of the most waste.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, actually, maybe we'll refine that. One of the 4 construction industries that create some of the most waste. So you were saying that roofs get replaced quite often, which causes a lot of waste, and a lot of times that waste does end up in the landfills.
Yeah, I mean, if you drive by a replacement job or roof job, whatever you want to call it, you'll probably see that giant.
And they're typically orange, or at least all the ones I've seen have been orange.
Yeah, the orange giant
Dumpsters.
outside, and the roofers will just tear them off and throw them in, and at the end of the job it gets hauled away.
Also, that's just convenient.
Yeah, it's a convenience thing. And so a lot of the re-roofing jobs, replacement jobs, whatever, end up with so much waste. And if you want to know how much, let me pull up some statistics. Now, all the statistics I was able to find are a little bit older, from like 2011 to 2014. So they are old, but I think it still works. So about 12.5 billion square feet of shingles are manufactured every year in the US. And to give you an idea right now, there's actually a manufacturing crisis within the roofing industry. So it's hard for roofing companies to actually get material. So just think about that. If they are having a hard time, how much has been being taken off and used this year alone. So, like I said, 12.5 billion square feet of shingles are manufactured, which is more than 448 square miles of roofing shingles.
Oh my goodness.
Or enough to cover Washington, D.C. with shingles 4.5 times.
And that's just shingles. Like, that's not any other roofing type.
And about 11 million tons of asphalt shingles are thrown away every year in the US. So that is a lot. Here's another thing. So roofing in general, all roofing membranes types have a very limited amount of time that they're on your roof. So most shingles are meant to last 15 to 20 years. Other roofing membranes or materials, as we talked about in other episodes, can be meant to last longer. But on average, I'd say 20 years is a number that gets thrown out a lot for most roofing types. So after 20 years, you have to replace them on your building or house. But how many buildings and houses are there around you?
A ton.
And around the world. So every year you can expect that, like, hypothetically, even an eighth of the roofs across the world are getting replaced every year.
Well, yeah, because houses aren't all built at the same time. Like, they didn't all just magically appear one day.
So it's a lot of waste. This is where we're going to come to the end of today's episode. Just let you sit with how much waste there is. Join us on Friday. There are things that you can do to be less wasteful when it comes to roofing, both as a consumer of roofing products and honestly as an owner or worker within a roofing company. So join us on Friday and you will learn more then.
Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
We'll see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. If you've been loving what you're hearing, make sure to press the subscribe button so you get notified anytime we post a new episode. Episodes come out on Monday and Fridays. Please feel free to share this podcast with a friend. We'd love everybody to be able to join us and learn more about the roofing industry as we go along on this journey. If you don't already, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. I will put all of our information down in the show notes below. Feel free to contact us with any questions or any roofing ideas that you would love for us to talk about. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time.